Hello fellow travelers, Steve here with RV Site to Site. Welcome to today's video. I want to show you some of the highlights from an 1,800-mile trip that we took in October of last year with our good friends Ann and Dave. We broke the trip into several legs, and this video features the second leg where we travel from Mt Airy, North Carolina to Milton, West Virginia. Now before we get into it, let's roll that intro. In the last video, we were in Mt Airy, North Carolina. We had a great stay at the Mayberry campground. We left on I-74 and headed to I-77 where we would head north. It didn't take long to get into Virginia. After that, we had to get over the Blue Ridge Mountains. As we climbed off to the right, we could see the valley below. The views are incredible. For a while, I-77 and I-81 ran together. Once on top, it was smooth sailing. At Withville, the two highways separated and we continued on I-77 north. Once into West Virginia, we decided to stop at the Tamarak just north of Beckley. The Tamarak is a showcase of West Virginia-made arts and crafts. They have special events and craft demonstrations. The Tamarak also features a fine art gallery, a theater, and a food court. We finally made it to Milton, West Virginia, just west of Huntington. We got off of I-64 to get onto US 60. The Fox Fire KOA camping resort was just off 60 west of Milton. We checked in at the little store at the entrance. Behind the store was a pond with a beach for those who wanted to swim. The campground has the necessities: bathrooms, showers, laundry, and trash dumpsters. Most sites were small and, in my opinion, cramped. I know many have written rave reviews, but I think we'll pass on this one the next time. The next day, we decided to tour Blenko Glass Company. Blenko Glass opened in Milton in 1921. The handcrafted and blown glass is colorful and unique. Because each piece is individually made, items may vary slightly, and many items are collectible because a limited number were made. On the property was a small park and a lake. A large duck seemed to be interested in me. Because of COVID guidelines, we were not allowed to do the factory tour where one can observe the artisans at work. However, I was able to get these photos from the company website. Here we see a mold being carved out of hardwood. Next, glass is heated in the oven, then blown, shaped in a mold, and formed by rolling and manipulated by the craftsmen or women. Now let me tell you why we chose Milton, West Virginia as a stopping place on our long trip. I was raised on a farm on the top of a mountain near Milton. We decided to ride out to the area where I grew up. This road is called Dry Ridge Road. Now when we turned this curve, we used to be able to see most of my dad's 96-acre farm. It used to be beautiful. Now, unfortunately, it's cluttered with a lot of houses. Now this used to have a log cabin here. And that's where my grandparents lived when they first moved to the farm. My dad built most of those buildings back there, me and my dad. And but now the house that my dad and I built burned down. It caught on fire just a couple years ago.
Yeah, right after we come up here and take a picture.
Yeah, I told Rennie, I said, Daddy's getting really old and I want to get up here and take some pictures before he gets too old. And so I came up here and got all kinds of film and everything. But this was a long white.
This was the homestead.
Yeah, this was the homestead. All right, Dave. You wanted to know, over here is where the bull was.
The bull was over here.
The bull was over here. We used to go down that path right there, down there, and there was a spring down there, and that thing, I mean, it ran a gallon of water. It wasn't real hard, but it ran a gallon of water every 8 minutes. And so, you know, we built Daddy and I built a cistern or a thing to hold water there, hold 500 gallons. We laid it out of a block, and but when we first moved here, there was an old farmhouse right here, and that's where we lived. That was the first place we lived.
So that was part of the farm too?
That was part of the farm. We had a chicken house that went back through there, held 300 chickens. The farm was over here too. That's where I keep my stuff that I'd buy, the animals and stuff. Goats and sheep, whatever I can get my hands on. I am also an author. If you Google Steve Atkins Amazon, it will take you to my author page. There you can find several books that I've written and many more to come. However, the books about this ridge are featured in the books The Adventures of Danny Roberts and The Ridge. The Ridge is the first of a 7-book series featuring the life of Pastor Daniel Roberts. If you're a reader, you might also enjoy Dream Point. It's about a doctor who is trying to find a cure and in the process gets captured by an indigenous tribe in the Amazon jungles in Peru. Thanks for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please smash that like button, and while you're there, why don't you go ahead and subscribe. Also, I hope you will take the time to comment. I try to answer each and every one. So until next time, I'm Steve, and I hope you have happy travels.